Hey, what's going on? Today we're going to make a little tomato sauce. It's pretty simple. It only includes these 6 ingredients in front of me. We're going to use whole crushed tomatoes, garlic, onion, oregano, basil, and then later we're going to add in some salt and pepper to taste. Alright, let's get going. Okay, I got a couple tablespoons of oil heated up in a medium sauce pot. To that I'm going to add in my onion. We're going to let that saute around for a little bit until it perfumes, and then I'm going to add in my garlic and do the same thing. And now once all the scents are scenting, I'm going to add in my tomato paste, my herbs, and we're going to let that cook around for just about a minute once it all emulsifies in, and then we're going to finally add in our tomatoes. Now these next couple steps really depend on how much you taste test your food, because my tomatoes have a lot of water in them and yours might not. Your tomatoes might have more salt in them than mine do. Mine have 0 salt in them and they're packed full of water. Now later in this video you'll see that my sauce came out pretty thin. That's because I should have cooked it down longer, but I got impatient. I'm not used to cooking with this much water in my tomatoes, and I thought that it would, cook out in the 30 minutes that I simmered it for, but it didn't. It's all about taste testing your food. It's all about tasting for salt, tasting for pepper, tasting for seasonings. Now at this point, it's been simmering for about 15-20 minutes, and now I'm going to taste for salt, and then I'm also going to add in a little bit more cracked black pepper. I like to put black pepper in my sauces. I think it adds, just a little bit to it. You don't have to add too much to get it, you don't want it to just taste like black pepper. But throughout the whole cooking of it, you are going to want to taste it. Once the acids come out, you're going to want to taste for salt. You're going to want to add in more herbs. Now it's also at this point where the acid starts coming out of the tomatoes and you start getting a bittery aftertaste on the back end. Now, off camera, I did add in a pinch of sugar just to offset the acidity. It's all up to you on what you taste in your food. And this next step's optional. I am going to use an immersion blender. It just smooths the sauce down. You get your onion chunks out, you get your garlic chunks out, your tomato chunks out that haven't rendered down. Now, I realized right there that I shouldn't have done it in the pan, and I should have done it in the immersion blender container that it came with. But you're going to smooth it down nice. It's going to come down to a nice smooth consistency. You're going to see it's a little thin. I should have let it cook for a couple more minutes. Now that I'm going to get it all blended down, right after I get it all blended, I'm going to put them in 2 separate containers just to show you, the viewer, the chunky sauce, which is not really chunky, just the little bit bigger chunks of tomatoes and onions and garlic versus the blended down sauce. And let me get a little side by side here of the smooth sauce versus the chunky sauce. I do prefer a chunky sauce most times. I think it adds a little bit more of a homemade flavor to it. The flavor doesn't really change, but the look of the onions and the garlic, it's just a little nicer.